Peace be upon you, dear viewers. In today's video, we will share a profound and heart-touching story about a devout and righteous woman. This is not just a tale, but a testament to faith, resilience, and the mysterious ways of destiny. Have you ever heard of someone unknowingly harboring a snake within themselves? Why did her children die as soon as they were born? Let us delve into this incredible story. Once upon a time, there lived a young girl in a small, peaceful village. She was known for her modesty, beauty, and unwavering devotion to Allah. Her parents cherished her deeply, for she was their only child, a blessing in their lives. From a young age, she displayed a pure heart and an exemplary character, earning the respect and admiration of everyone around her. However, her unparalleled beauty also attracted unwelcome attention. Among those smitten by her charm was a man of a different faith, a Hindu who had grown up in the same village. Day by day, his obsession grew until it consumed him entirely. He would watch her from a distance, longing to speak to her, but knowing he could never cross the boundaries of her piety and modesty. One day, this man's obsession reached its peak. Unable to control his desires, he devised plans to win her over. Yet, every attempt failed, for her heart belonged to Allah and her principles were unshakable. Time passed, and the girl entered a new chapter in her life. She married a kind and devout Muslim man. Her husband loved her dearly, and she found happiness in her new home. But for the man who had secretly admired her, this marriage was a crushing blow. His admiration turned to bitterness, and his mind was filled with vengeance. "If I cannot have her," he vowed to himself, "then no one else will live happily with her." Little did the young bride know that someone harbored such dark intentions against her. As the days turned into weeks, the young bride's new life seemed perfect on the surface. Her husband was a man of strong faith, and their relationship was built on mutual respect. Yet, deep within her heart, she felt an unexplained sadness, a growing distance between herself and her husband. Initially, she dismissed it as the challenges of adjusting to married life, but with time, her husband's aloofness became undeniable. No matter how hard she tried to nurture their relationship, her husband seemed cold and detached. She sought solace in prayer, turning to Allah with every fiber of her being. "O Allah, if I have unknowingly committed a sin, forgive me and restore my husband's love," she would whisper during tahajjud, tears streaming down her face. Years passed, but their home remained childless. The societal pressures mounted. Neighbors began to whisper, and the family elders grew restless. They offered unsolicited advice and herbal remedies, but nothing seemed to work. The once loving husband, now influenced by external pressures, began to harbor resentment toward his wife. "I married you with the hope of building a family," he once said during a heated moment. His words pierced her heart like a dagger. Still, she remained patient, silently bearing the weight of his frustrations. Meanwhile, the man who had vowed to ruin her happiness had not forgotten her. Obsessed and consumed by jealousy, he sought out a Hindu sorcerer renowned for his knowledge of black magic. Together, they concocted a sinister plan. The sorcerer, skilled in ancient and forbidden rituals, instructed the man to perform a chant deep in the forest for 40 days. This chant, he assured, would enable him to cast a spell on the woman and her husband. For 40 nights, the man sat under a banyan tree, reciting incantations and feeding his hatred. As the ritual neared completion, he felt a dark power surging within him. Finally, the sorcerer prepared the final spell. Through this dark magic, the couple's union was cursed. The husband's love for his wife was poisoned, and her womb was enchanted to become a vessel for a snake, an entity that would bring death to her offspring. After years of despair, the woman finally conceived. Her prayers had been answered, or so she thought. The news brought mixed emotions to the household. While the wife rejoiced, her husband remained indifferent. Despite his coldness, she prepared for the arrival of their child with great care. 9 months later, she gave birth to a beautiful baby girl. Holding her daughter for the first time filled her with a joy she had never known. "Ya Allah, thank you for this blessing," she prayed, kissing the baby's forehead. But her husband's apathy cast a shadow over her happiness. He barely looked at the child, dismissing her as just a girl. The woman, undeterred, dedicated herself to raising her daughter. Yet, her joy was short-lived. One day, when the baby was just 8 months old, a fakir arrived at their door. He was an elderly man with a serene presence, dressed in simple clothes. The woman, who normally avoided unnecessary interaction with men, felt an inexplicable urge to meet him. The fakir accepted her offering of food and water. After eating, he gazed into the water vessel and said, "There's a snake in your house." Startled, the woman asked what he meant. He explained, "Black magic has been cast upon you. None of your children will survive unless the curse is lifted." She laughed nervously. "You must be mistaken," she said. "I have a daughter who is healthy and asleep inside." The fakir's expression turned grave. "Go and see for yourself," he said. "Your daughter is no longer alive." Panicking, the woman rushed to her daughter's room, only to find her lifeless body. Overwhelmed with grief, she returned to confront the fakir, but he had vanished. The years that followed were marked by heartbreak. Each time she gave birth, tragedy struck. Her second child, another daughter, died under mysterious circumstances at the age of 2. Her third child was snatched by a bird of prey during a family journey. These losses left the woman in a state of despair, questioning why Allah had written such a painful fate for her. Her husband's attitude worsened. He accused her of being cursed and unworthy of motherhood. His family urged him to remarry, but the woman refused to let go of her faith. "This is a test from Allah," she told herself, clutching her prayer beads. "He does not burden a soul beyond what it can bear." One day, the fakir returned. By now, the woman had lost almost everything: her children, her husband's love, and her hope. She fell at the fakir's feet, pleading, "What have I done to deserve this? Why do my children die? Please tell me how to end this suffering." The fakir revealed the truth. "A black snake resides in your womb. It was placed there by black magic, and it is the cause of your children's deaths. To break this curse, you must confront it directly." Terrified yet determined, the woman agreed to follow the fakir's guidance. He instructed her to perform specific rituals and prayers, warning her that the task would be both physically and spiritually challenging. "You must also accept the snake as your own," he said. "Only then can it leave your body." The woman began her spiritual journey, performing the prescribed rituals with unwavering faith. She prayed day and night, asking Allah for strength. Over time, she began to feel the snake growing within her, a horrifying realization that tested her resolve. She informed a trusted midwife of the situation, explaining that she would give birth not to a human child, but to a creature born of dark magic. When the time came, the woman endured immense pain, both physical and emotional. She gave birth to the snake, which emerged lifeless. Moments later, she delivered a baby boy with blue-tinted skin, who survived only for a short time. Though devastated by the loss of another child, she felt a sense of relief knowing the curse had been lifted. A year later, Allah blessed her with a healthy baby boy. Over time, she gave birth to 2 more sons, all of whom thrived. Her husband's love for her was rekindled, and their home was once again filled with happiness. One day, the fakir returned with news. "The sorcerer who cursed you has met his end," he said. "A black snake bit him while he was attempting another ritual against you. The man who was obsessed with you has also perished. Allah has removed your enemies and restored your blessings." The woman fell to her knees in gratitude, thanking Allah for His mercy. She lived the rest of her life in peace, dedicating herself to raising her children and performing good deeds. This story reminds us of the power of faith and the importance of trusting Allah's plan. No matter how dark the circumstances, Allah's mercy is infinite. May we all find strength in our faith and be protected from evil. Ameen.